you. Step 3, you grow hard about what you want to be. Step 4, everybody just do your thing.
Wake up, today's gonna be a good day. 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 Yo. Set your affirmations, aspirations. I got shit to do, the aftermath of preparation. Good food, good mood, blood in circulation. One step at a time, yeah, that's how you make it. Set a goal you control and the steps you take them. I try to pick one thought, have some concentration. And if I make a mistake, it's called education. I try to do this every day, call it replication. Wake up, today's gonna be a good day. 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 Wake up.
You said good morning. I've been in here chatting with you guys. It has been a hell of a week. I feel like I've been hit by a dump truck. I know all of you have too. Every notification this week has been, there's no sound. Hang on. ICU says 100. Team says you can hear. All right. Cool. I don't know what's going on. I've heard other people are having problems. So it is what it is. Like I said, makes for a very rough show when I have to start out asking if people can hear me. And I'm sure it annoys the hell out of you guys too. But it is what it is. I don't control Al Gore's internet. So, like I said, I feel like I have been hit with a dump truck. This is going to be a week in review show. I've only done a few of these before. Every time I do one, I always say I don't remember how they went off. You guys are here, so they must not have been that damn bad. I don't even know. I can't even remember. Call me Lilani. I don't even remember how the damn week started. I think we started getting further in depth with Quinton Simon. We know where we're going there. Did some shows about Kylie Rodney, talked about teardrops interrogation. And now here we are. What we were already prepared for, Kylie Rodney's death has been ruled an accident. We already knew we were going down that road. Quinton Simon, they believe, is deceased. I received this morning. Caroline sent this to me. This is News Now, Georgia. Sadness continues in the case of Quinton. The FBI confirms this is now a recovery mission. Whatever they got out of that house told him he is deceased. Or as Billy says, he passed away. He's passed. Okay, Billy. Also says cadaver dogs have hit on the boy's scent at the landfill. So, on that note, What a week. You're exactly right, Mama Kay. What a week. We're going to try to have a calm show. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see how it goes. I guess a lot of that depends on me, huh? It's absolutely insane. I mean, I know the week started with me complaining about OU's most embarrassing loss. Thank God for Mike Gundy, right? If you're an Oklahoman right now. But yeah, cadaver dogs have hit on his scent. They have hit on his scent. So what is really weighing the heaviest on our minds right now? Would it be what we were hit with yesterday afternoon about Kylie Rodney? By the way, thank you for jumping into the show. I don't really like to just throw shows together at the last minute. You know, people have a kind of an off and on with getting notifications, but you guys were there, you were large and in charge, and it was awesome. Still don't know what Denise was talking about with all that Tyler Feller stuff. For one, it's no secret that when creators are mentioned in other creators' chats, it never works out. It never goes good. But man, she was on there, Tyler Feller. I kept saying, Denise, I don't know what the hell you're talking about. If you Google it, well, there was nothing to Google. The information that we got was from KCRA. KCRA, they're the ones that came out with the article that this is ruled an accident in the Kylie Rodney case. ICU says, baby Quinton has had me on an emotional roller coaster. Me too. My own husband said that case is really getting to me. Just imagine either Danny or Leilani or just Leilani. Maybe Danny was along for the ride. I don't know. Driving around trying to figure out what trash can to put him in. There are cameras all around this dump, I've been told. And yes, it's a landfill. It's people dump their trash there. It is not a private dump where anyone can just go pay their $20 and they're not accompanied. Records are kept. There are cameras. The only thing I can think of with little Quinton is, you know, he's a little guy. He's 20 months old. And they go and they put him probably in someone's trash can. I mean, I don't know. I don't know that for sure. Che Benet, what a cool name. By the way, we have new members. Thank you so much for becoming a member. If I missed any of you this week that became a member, my apologies. That was very, very rude of me. The chat's been moving very fast lately. A lot of things going on this week. And just make sure you check out the members tab, members lives, because you don't ever want to miss one of those. We're going to have a Halloween party with a lot of giveaways. We're going to do a thankful for you all the month of November for the members. And we're going to have a 12 days of Christmas that would even make Jim Terry blush. So thank you, members, for being here. Thank you so much. Che Benet, can you explain what happened with the other content creator channel being referenced? I missed it. I missed it too, and I was part of the damn conversation, Che Benet. I was part of the conversation. I missed it too. Hang on. Mama B, anyone else see it said that mom was seen at the trailer park dumpster during the night? No, but I did see that one of the neighbors said that she did leave around 5 that morning. Doug came here to scream injustice for all. I think we can all agree with that. There's no, it's something, it's a nicety. It's a nicety that we say. We say justice for, or they're going to get justice. Piss on that. I don't care what country you live in. I don't care what town you live in. I don't care what state you live in. Hey, some judges swing that gavel and they put them away forever. Some judges, the jury gives them death. They go to death row. Here in Oklahoma, the road that leads to Big Mac, it's called Electric Avenue. They're proud of it. Still doesn't bring anybody back. And I'm all for the criminal justice system. I'm all for it. Let these assholes run around. Yeah, Sunshine Cowgirl, I can't say that out loud because YouTube will send me a nasty email, but I agree. Bob says she was caught on camera putting him in the trailer park dumpster is what I heard. Sounds about like Leilani. She's not going to break too much of a sweat, if you know what I mean. She's not. Poor Harmony had a bad judge. Yep. We're going to talk about Harmony. Let's see what our friend Shannon is up to. True Crime with Shannon. What case that we've been going over this week?
Let me tell you what.
Uh-oh.
Oh, I have an echo. Hang on. Why do I have an echo?
I don't know, but you started with let me tell you what, so I'm getting scared.
Okay.
Buckle
all right.
up. Shannon's going to tell us what. What you got, Shannon?
Well, every single bit of all this stuff this week is driving me bananas. You know, I go to take a nap last night after work, and I wake up to this Kylie Rodney crap. I'm like, what the hell, y'all? You know, and I try not to say a lot of bad words, but, you know, that's how it goes. But I'm just stunned. Every single thing you could possibly think has been happening lately, and I don't know what is going on in this world. And we have towns seemingly covering up something that's suspicious. Then you got people throwing their babies in the garbage. What's going on?
Well, I mean, not only that, throwing your baby in the garbage. I have, you know, people send me stuff quite a bit. Keep it coming. I love it. You guys keep me up to date. And they'll say, go to this minute or go to this minute. And there's some people that are basically calling the entire state of Georgia a shit, corrupt, you know, shithole because of the way Billy runs her house and because Leilani is an abusive mother.
Wow.
Not going down that road. I absolutely hate that shit. Reminds me of when we first started covering Summer Wells, which, by the way, tomorrow will be 16 months since Summer Wells disappeared. I am going live tomorrow morning to do an entire recap of the case. Buckle up. And it reminds me of when we first started talking about Summer Wells, and instantly all of East Tennessee were child abusers, neglectful. I was furious. People trying to adapt the accent of Tennessee, not doing that here. That's ridiculous because Billy ran her house that way. She don't have a chance now because I don't think they're ever going to let a child around Billy again. And because Lonnie lost it. This has been a volcano ready to erupt for a very long time. Go ahead, Shannon. I did not mean
I agree. And I think that neither one of those, any one of that family, Billy Joe, obviously Leilani's going to be in jail. It's just a matter of time. And I know a lot of folks are frustrated because the PD is not, you know, arresting her. But as much as that's frustrating, and I agree, I would rather have them help out all their ducks in a row, be all set to go, so there ain't no problems when she goes to court and she can't get out of it, and then there's double jeopardy. So I mean, I'd rather have them have their ducks in a row, you know, and make sure
we have no double jeopardy in this country. And when she does get arrested, let's say it's 7 months down the road, they won't even be around anyway. Honestly, I mean, there's no arrest in the Debbie Collier case. There's no arrest in that yet. There's no arrest in the Summer Wells case. There's no arrest in the Kyron Horman case, my friends, and it's been 12 years. That's where you need to be screaming. You need to ask that DA in Portland, Oregon, what the hell he's been doing for 12 years.
Yeah, our public government officials don't seem to want to work anymore. So, I mean, they don't want to protect these children at all and these people. So,
they've got very, very dumb juries, too. Very, very dumb.
Oh, yeah.
If it's not down to something that a 2-year-old can understand, they acquit these damn people. I cannot believe what's going on with some of these juries. Either these defense attorneys have got some really cool tricks up their sleeves, or we've got some real dumbasses in these
Maybe it's a combination of thereof.
real dumbasses in these jury boxes. I mean,
Well, I think that
really dumb ones.
the parade, I think the parade murder is gonna, I think he's gone because he's defending himself. What an idiot. You know, I mean, he's something else, and that judge is helping him out. I'm like, why are you helping him? Why? Why are you helping him?
What's
So,
she gonna do?
but I guess she's trying to do because she don't want it to come back. She just wants this case to be done and over with. So, I mean, but these cases seem like it's like insane in the courtroom. Look at the whole thing with Parkland. That judge, you know, and the defense team, they seem like they had massive issues. You know, they weren't prepared. I mean, I agree that both, you know, everybody seemed to have some issues in that case. But, you know, the judge was, you know, upset with the defense, and the defense said they're going to call all these witnesses, and then they decide, oh, we're not going to call half of them anymore. I'm like, who the hell does that? You know what I mean? So, I mean, I can't disagree that the judge was being annoyed with them about that, but they said, you know, oh, she hated us from the beginning. I'm like, really? Come on, y'all.
Well, think about it. The juries walk out, and if you follow a case to the end and your face falls off, when they give them a much lesser sentence or acquit them altogether, and when they get a hold of a juror and ask them, they go, well, they just didn't prove their case. So we want them to be able to prove their case. This is not for Facebook groups. This is not for this channel. This is not for any channel. This is so Quinton Simon, Harmony Montgomery, any of the cases that we talk about, it's done, it's over, and these people can never harm again. And I tell you what, Billy needs to be in that boat. I got a lot of hell for that overnight. I tell you what, I woke up to some beautiful poetic emails this week, and it's okay, keep them coming, because I'm not going to stop.
Hey, well, that's entertaining. Yeah, I wouldn't have a problem with it either. And, you know, the whole thing with I listened to part of your show last night, the whole thing, I don't know what was going on with that chick. Like you said at the beginning, I'm like, what in the heck is going on? I think she was highly confused.
She's a super nice lady. She's a super nice
lady. She seemed really nice. And I thought, man, and I was like, what is she talking about? So, you know, I know there's a lot of cases, but I think she was just a little bit confused, or she was, you know, something else was going on. But that news on Kylie was all over the web. I mean, that's everywhere. So, I mean, you know, all these cases are hitting, and they all seem to hit at the same time. And does it make you wonder if they released that during all this insanity with Parkland and Quinton? I don't think that's a coincidence either. I think they like to release all that stuff at the same time.
No, I think this was very planned. And I think that had to do with a lot of the hoopla last week. I truly do. I think they knew there was never going to be a November 1st announcement. They knew everybody was gearing up for November 1st. They knew people were talking about going to Truckee November 1st. So the least expected day, it's just a Thursday. YouTube's going crazy talking about Quinton Simon and whatever else, Parkland, like you said. So they just slip it into KCRA, and everyone's like, well, what the hell? You know, that's really what I think. I mean, I could be wrong. I've been wrong many, many times before.
You know, I would like to see the AWP too, but I don't think they're going to say anything. And I can't blame them completely, you know, Brooks, because they really they put their neck out for it. And I would rather see them be able to help other families than put themselves in a bad spot. But it sucks because I think they're going to pull back, and they're not going to say anything, you know.
Well, let me ask the chat. I put a clip up on my channel today about what Doug said when he was on the interview room with Chris. And I'm just asking you guys, we don't know these guys, and we don't know if would it be beneficial to them? I had this poll. Let me see exactly how I worded it on the channel. If you haven't taken the poll, please go take it. It's on my community tab. I said, good morning and happy Friday. In your opinion, do you think it would be beneficial to Adventures with Purpose to release the other 90% of their video? Right now, 82% of you have said yes. 15% said no, and then I have some comments. And I will get to those, promise I will. And when I mean beneficial, is it going to hurt Adventures with Purpose in the long run to come out with, we already know what they think. Mm-hmm. We already know what they think. And this blurb from Nevada County on KCRA. I don't believe it's going to change that. But would it be would it hurt their brand to continue to double down with their opinion? What do you think?
I don't know. I mean, I'm iffy. I don't know what the chat's thinking because I'm iffy on it. I mean, I'm sure they're very mixed on their whole team as well on this. I'm sure they want to go out and because I think none of us know them personally, but I think that they are good guys and they just want to, help people and tell the truth. But at the same time, I think it's a tough place to be in right now, and from what we've gathered about Truckee, that whole area is kind of sus. I think they kind of take care of their own. And it's unfortunate they brought it out to the public because I think that's not really what they wanted. But they sure wanted our help when she was missing, didn't they? Now they want us to leave them alone.
Yeah, you said a mouthful there. Her mother, that's the whole reason I started covering the case. And also I said it had Michaela Jones vibes. Michaela Jones went to a party, gathering, group, whatever you want to call it. Something went very, very wrong at that party. The initial autopsy said she overdosed. Her mother said, hell no, that didn't happen. Her mother didn't rush off and have a cremation and a GoFundMe. Her mother took out a loan against her own 401k. She's an RN. She's been building that up for years. So there went her retirement. Got a second autopsy that said there was only trace amounts of certain drugs in her system. They got liver biopsies and did these, by the way. These weren't from, blood or urine. And they said no. Also, she has a crushed skull. So her mother has been fighting for justice since. My very first show, I said, this has Michaela Jones vibes. I'll tell you why. Because when Michaela left that party, which she left dead, and they hid her body and torched her phone, look up the case of Michaela Jones on my channel. Always need more help with that case. Anyhow, no one saw her leave. No one saw her leave. Kylie Rodney, her mother, News Nation, Today, CBS This Morning, Good Morning America, CNN. There's Lindsay. There's Lindsay not telling people to get a hobby or call their mom. Please, please, please. My daughter was at a party. She is missing. No one saw her leave. Well, and now we have a ruling of a drowning with unremarkable lungs and no water in a stomach.
Yeah, I got to look at that case. That sounds something crazy.
Yeah.
There's just so many cases, Brooks. There's just so many of them.
There's not enough time in the day. People kind of come after me. Well, why aren't you covering this? Why aren't you covering this? Because I don't do cocaine.
That's good.
I sleep and I got to do my job too.
Yep.
All right. I'm going to do some comments from the last shows for Quinton, Kylie, and Harmony. You want to do those with me?
Sure.
All right. By the way, if I showcase your after show comment, please send me an email and you will find out why. From the Harmony Montgomery show, Lisa Stewart said, you and Susan's comments on Harmony's grandparents remind me exactly of Lori Vallow's mother and sister. No call wondering where JJ and Tylee were for Thanksgiving or Christmas. So we spoke about that on every show for Harmony when we say, where were the grandparents for 2 years? Why did no one say, hey, when are you going to bring Harmony by? I have her birthday presents. Excuse me, yes, I know we live in Florida now, but can I at least FaceTime with Harmony? So, and it came up again this week with the case of Quinton with his grandparents. Billy in particular. Billy has gotten a lot of traffic on this channel. What's going on with these grandparents? What is going on with these grandparents? Okay, the parents are shit people, hands down. We got it. Where's Grandma and Grandpa? Because let me tell you something right now. If my parents even touched a hair on my head, my papa would whip the dog shit out of them. What is going on with the grandparents all of a sudden? Oakley Carlson, the grandparents, they don't know what's going on. Harmony, no idea. Don't get me going on Grandis. She was right there watching what was going down. We have Billy. They're in the same house. It came out yesterday that Leilani called the police on her mother in September because her and Billy were fighting over laundry. When the police come to your house, that's a good day to get stuff in order. That's a good day to change every behavior that you have going on behind that door. Just Me said, not even mailing a birthday card. What's up with the grandparents? Who in here is a grandparent? Are you a grandparent, Shannon?
No, I'm not even a mama yet. And I don't know. I can't imagine though anybody.
But you
not,
have grandparents.
Oh yeah. And I can't imagine not, hearing from them. And of course, even as you got older, they at least called, right?
Mm-hmm.
So send a card, call, something.
2 years? 2 years?
No, there's no way.
My aunt lives in Canada. I'm not Canadian. She moved there. She's from Oklahoma. She moved there with her husband back in the 70s. But she has kids all over the United States and Canada, grandkids everywhere. Still, there would be no way in hell 2 years would go on without her not knowing where a grandchild was. And that's a lot of grandkids to keep up with because she has 6 children. And they all have 4 or 5 kids. That's a lot to keep up with. She almost needs a damn spreadsheet. But anyway, no way. No way. And then we have this systematic cycle of grandparents getting custody of grandkids and handing them back to their children who are abusive.
Yeah, there's something wrong with that. If the parents can't keep them, and then you got the grandparents can't even keep an eye on their kids for their grandkids. I mean, who's going to care for these babies?
Mm-hmm.
Obviously, they don't belong in that family whatsoever.
Yep. So we get to a comment from Quinton's show. This is from yesterday from Aldo Cat. Aldo Cat, this is your comment. Does Billy Joe receive foster care payments and Medicaid for Quinton? Department of Children's Services will take both biological parents to child support court for reimbursement, not a choice. That's what I'm wondering too, because there is an order from the state of Georgia for Leilani to pay the state $150 a month. Now that is for Zane and Quinton. I don't know from when they get the child support, assuming it would go to Billy, obviously. So what is going on with that? Is obviously, did Billy file for something and that's the reason that the state of Georgia, because they don't just do it because they feel like it. They can't keep up with all these cases.
Oh, no way. Make sure, I haven't been able to find that. Of course, I haven't looked detail either. It's been a busy week, but I'm curious, how did she get custody? What was the situation? We obviously know what Leilani's like, but what was the all the details, the filings?
I can give you so many details, but I'm afraid that YouTube would shut this channel down because they are that damn jaw-dropping. Everything from maggots in diaper pails, to what Diana has reported. Drugs, hanging out at gas stations, getting change and whatever spare dollars you can get to go buy drugs when you're supposed to be taking care of your babies. It's awful. It's heartbreaking. And you know what's really bad? None of it surprises us.
Yeah. It's getting so bad that nothing surprises us anymore. It doesn't. These babies deserve to have a better life, and the system is not helping whatsoever either. Look to Harmony. They didn't look out for her. The judge gave her the custody of her to Teardrop.
Mm-hmm.
What the hell? And then obviously, we know he did something to her. He's just not going to tell us, because of course he's not.
Mm-hmm.
And Kayla, of course, as we said, she's the ride or die. They're together. So, like, she's got something to do with it. I don't know to what extent, but she knows.
Sure, Kayla does. Stepmeth knows. She knows what's up, or she wouldn't be sitting in jail. Sharon Burbage, this is back on the Quinton case. Sharon said the babysitter phoned the grandmother many times to tell her about the bruises and other things. Now, since then, Diana has said she doesn't know where the bruises came from. She doesn't know if they came from Leilani. Either way, Diana, we heard her on the news yelling at Billy, saying, I told you, I told you. She said, but the grandmother didn't respond. This is true. This is true. And it seems like there's more outrage towards Billy than Leilani. Are you guys seeing that as well?
I think so. I think it's almost worse in a way. I mean, obviously, Leilani she's the one that took the life that we pretty much know. I mean, we have to say, suspect at this point, but I mean, Billy Joe left these babies with her, and she knew what the kind of person she was. So yeah, I think that she's got a lot of responsibility in this in Quinton's death. I really do.
One way or another, she has culpability, and that's for damn sure.
Agreed.
I
hope she gets charged. I really do. I hope she gets charged with something. I mean, they'll probably give her a slap on the wrist. That's how great our system is.
I don't think much is going to happen to Billy. I really don't, for some reason. And not because it's the state of Georgia, not because there's anything wrong with Savannah. I just think there is so much gray area with what she really knew about Leilani. I think she will get in trouble. She's not going to serve any time or anything, I don't think. Not that I don't want her to. Sorry to say it. I mean, seeing her behavior the last week, she puts we're talking about the Quinton case. Billy puts this up. Anyone that is spending their time bashing my family in these times, please don't hesitate to remove yourself from my Facebook. Oh, threaten me with a good time, won't you? Everyone is already torn and broken. No, they're not. No, they're not. Outsiders that are okay with beating people down aren't my kind of people. Well, my kind of people do not abuse their children, and to the point where they can't, or they don't take kids that have fallen in swimming pools. They're going to try to stick with that and not take them to the ER. My kind of people don't have canines in the FBI going through landfills looking for 20-month-old babies right now. Those are not my kind of people, Billy.
Yep. They were looking also in the backyard of the other neighbor's house. I don't know if anybody heard that.
Yesterday.
So I'm not sure where, I think he's in the landfill though, which is really sad. I mean, they should just walk up Leilani and throw away the key.
Mm-hmm.
She doesn't deserve anything. Not even at all. And then she's saying, I don't remember. Gee, that's a convenient.
Well, I remember when they found Evelyn Boswell, that was in March of 2020, and they didn't lower the hammer on Maggie. She was arrested for lying to the police and a few things like that. And when they lowered the hammer on her mother, Evelyn's mother, finally, it was like 19 felonies. So it was like, even if she's found guilty of one by a jury I don't have a lot of faith in the jury system, guys. We can talk about law enforcement all day. I don't have a lot of faith in the jury of my peers. I just do not. So even if they only find her guilty on one of those felonies, she's away for life. So they stacked that deck. And I hope they do the same thing with Leilani.
Amen, girlfriend, for sure. But like I said, I'd rather have them they could charge her now. We all know they could.
Mm-hmm.
But if they can rack up those kind of charges against her, just taking a few more days, God bless them. But the fact that they say they don't know where she is, I'm like, that bothers me. I think they really do. I don't know why he said that. I sure hope they're keeping an eye on her better than the folks down in Florida kept an eye on Brian Laundrie. I mean, come on.
Oh, that was ridiculous. And we were talking on the show yesterday. I said, I really hope that law enforcement, I know they have, a lot of different trainings and things like that, that they learn from these other cases, like the Casey Anthony case, like with Brian Laundrie. I hope they take a page from their book on what not to do. I really, really do, because, they said they don't think Leilani's a flight risk. I hope that they're watching the house. I heard that they're watching it heavily. So, but I'm not there.
I think they are too. I know that we have a few folks that are out there too that like to get boots on the ground, which I won't mention, but I'm sure you know maybe who I'm referring to. They like to keep an eye out there too. But
they can't do anything about it. They can't do anything about
it. No, they can't. They can't touch her. So,
they can't do
but
anything.
I think that they better have law enforcement watch them better than they thought that was him coming back in the car and it was his mother. Come on, y'all. I mean, she just went out the other day, right? So I sure hope they're following her around and keeping an eye on her, because, I mean, if she were to take her own life, to me, that's too easy. Too easy.
I worry about that. I worry about her getting pregnant again or being pregnant now, but those aren't my things to worry about. They'll have to deal with that. Yeah, Mom said, I think he was being literal. I do too. When he said, I don't know where she is at this moment. No, I agree. And I don't think he should give that information because, I mean, hell, Diana's got people outside. Diana's the babysitter. And she's got people driving by and taking pictures of her house. I wouldn't say where Leilani is either, because watch to see how I phrase this. There are people out there that will cause damage, okay, to Leilani because they're that fired up. No way in hell would I say where that woman's at. No way. Because we want her to serve time the rest of her life for what happened to Quinton. We still don't know what that is. If the dogs picked up his scent at the landfill, God, I hope they find him soon, because it makes me sick that baby could be laying in that landfill. All right, had a lot of comments yesterday about Adventures with Purpose. Are they going to release the rest of the video? I put a poll up on the community tab. Some say they will. Some say they don't owe you anything. I don't know what they're going to do. I don't know. We're going to look at the clip in a little bit of what Doug had said a month ago, but a lot of things can happen in a month. Madame Web Sleuth said, so Madame Web Sleuth, your comment is being showcased. Drowning, in quotes, with no proof of drowning. The outside girl, thank you so much for your support. She said, have you read the toxin autopsy report? Oh, yes, girlfriend. Not much alcohol at all and no water in the lungs. Before I get to the clip, since we're on that comment, hang on one moment. One of you wonderful, wonderful, beautiful people sent this to me. And internal findings. Now, this has nothing to do with Kylie. This is kind of it's called Forensic Yard. So when we're talking about the lungs, the weight of the lungs in drowning is around 600 to 700 grams, but it is normally around 370 to 540 grams. Kylie's autopsy, her lungs were unremarkable. Can someone make that make sense to me?
That is confusing. That's confusing to me. I'm curious though, Brooks. I mean, I'm only going to bring up his name because he does duty run. I'm hoping that he'll have Barbara Butcher on this one, because she makes things a lot more clear. And I'm hoping she's going to go over this, because I want to know what she thinks of it as someone who's a professional retired in that area.
No idea. So on here, on our show, I have it on the screen. This is just a screenshot of part of the coroner's report, autopsy, whatever you want to call it. The respiratory system. Okay, so I just had that clip up from forensic.com that explains the weight after drowning of a lung. This is Kylie's. The right lung weighs 100 grams. The left lung weighs 110 grams. The pleural surfaces are smooth and the lungs are light maroon to gray tint. So it goes on and goes on and goes on and goes on. You guys can take a screenshot of that, look at it. You want to come up and talk about it if you're trained in the medical field or whatever, however you want to do it. I don't know. I've never obviously been there for an autopsy or anything, but when I do medical transcription, which is what I do or used to do, I don't do it right now. Unremarkable meant there was nothing wrong with it. Yes, Deb, we went through that last night. We played it on the channel. Hello, Rowena. How'd it go in your garage last night?
Oh, I glued my fingers together. Gorilla Glue spray works. Um, I looked at this and read and pulled stuff out that I sent you an email. The only thing I don't know why there wasn't any actual dissection of the lungs. And I put up a YouTube video that was kind of a little bit of what I was talking about, but the only thing I can think of with the weight would be that it did say moderate decomposition, and that would be the only. And I didn't know till just now when you said it that that how much it would normally weigh if there was a drowning. So thank you to whoever sent that to you. But that's the only thing that can pop through my head as far as weight. So I don't know. But
I don't know.
I can't be more help.
I'm not a doctor. I can just
Yeah.
just what I'm looking at. It says it's unremarkable. One lung's 100 grams, the other lung's 110 grams. Then I was sent this morning from forensic. It's a forensic.com, whatever. And a lung from a drowned person is 600 to 700 grams. Also, she had been in the water, we're going to say for 2 weeks. Let's say she went into the water August 6th, Adventures with Purpose got her out on the 21st. How the hell would there not be water in her lungs unless, like Elaine said, she wasn't alive when she went in the water?
From what I heard, she would still have some kind of water in her lungs even after the fact, so that doesn't make a lot of sense either.
I don't know.
But again, I'm not on that either. And my mom used to do medical transcription too, Brooke, so I'm curious what she thinks of this as well.
Ask her. She knows. She's had to type those reports up. So I'm going to do a clip real quick that we have. Jam said, how did they say she drowned if she didn't have water in her lungs? I'm confused. We are too. We are too. We are too. And, the big topic of conversation, well, one of them, because there's so many going on, of course, is about Adventures with Purpose. Are they going to release the other 90%? Yada, yada, yada. They can release 500%. They can have every kid at the party pushing her in the water. I don't want to hurt anyone's feelings when I say this. It is not going to change the report that said she drowned and it was an accident. Please, you can massacre me later for that. I don't believe they will ever, ever come back on what they said it is. I just don't. That's just my opinion.
I agree.
Yeah.
The death of 16-year-old Kylie Rodney has been officially ruled an accident. That's according to the Nevada County Sheriff's Office. The teen went missing after a party at a campground with hundreds of other teens. Her body was found 2 weeks later inside her car in a nearby reservoir. The Sheriff's Office says there is nothing to suggest her death was the result of foul play.
"27 seconds. That's all that clip was from KCRA that heavily covered the disappearance of Kylie Rodney. They were at every press conference. 27 seconds. That's it. That's it. That's all it is. Y'all are done. Find a hobby, call your mom, go home.
And
It's
that's what
sad.
people are saying. That's what people are saying. That agree with all this stuff, Brooks. They're like, y'all need to move on. What the mama said. I'm like, all right, sure, okay.
27 seconds. And then when I read the article from KCRA yesterday, that's exactly where it came from. Denise, if you're in here, I got your email too. It still doesn't tell me what you were trying to tell me. Doesn't matter anyway. Doesn't matter what other creators do. Has no bearing on what we think or do here. We have our own minds. Anyway, the KCRA article, it was a sentence and a half that said Nevada County Sheriff has ruled an accident. Then it said she drowned. She drowned. So if you guys here, I'll put it up again. Take a screenshot. You can look it over yourself. There it is. It even goes into the gastro, the pancreas. I don't get it. And like I said, I'm not a doctor. I'm not a doctor.
I don't get it either. And it just seems like mom is probably happy. Y'all just move on. Y'all get a hobby.
Mm-hmm.
I think there's a lot of people in Turkey that are happy, you know.
There can't be a second autopsy because they cremated her.
Right. And quick. That was quick.
That was convenient, wasn't it?
I don't know. I would like to know what her dad just thinks about all this, and I have my own opinion of SF Investigates, and I don't know how much he's been in his ear, and Grandpa's ear, but you know, I know that he can't go back and have another autopsy or anything, but I don't know. It's just I don't know. It's very disheartening.
It is. Outside girl, thank you very much. I want to know why all the friends say she was so wasted when the autopsy says that most of the alcohol was from decomposition. Why, Sammy especially? First, she said she drank out of everything she drank out of, and nothing seemed off about her. Then she said she was so wasted, no way in the world would Sammy risk her precious life driving with someone so drunk. Not that anyone should, but that is what Sammy said. She was so wasted. We have, Jagger doubled down on that this week. Let me see if I can find it real quick. Hang on.
Sammy's hard to trust, throughout the whole thing anyway.
Yeah.
She just really is. I mean, there's something off about her, and you hate to, but she's 18 years old, so she's not a kid anymore. But she sure took charge of everything, didn't she? She knew it all.
She did. I don't know why I can't get this thing to work. What's going on? I might have too much stuff loaded in here. Well, I'll read it to you. How about that? We don't need to put it on the screen. I can just read it. Jagger, he was trolling Adventures with Purpose this week, calling them clout chasers again. That's supposed to really get under people's skin. I guess that's the new insult. That's such a dumbass thing to say. But anyway, he's in their comments getting relevant again. I don't get how all you people that didn't know Kylie for shit think that you know everything. All right, so that's one comment after the clout chasing thing. Then he goes on to say she was drunk as shit. So again, we have someone saying that she was just wasted. She's just wasted.
Well, those comments kind of show me a maturity level. And this is just my opinion. I was creeped out about the whole taping her, and you don't know I did it. I don't know. It just shows a maturity level, and I think he just doesn't want to give up. I don't know, but it just all stinks all the way around this. It just stinks. But that I cannot believe that they did not do a dissection of her lungs. I just can't. There was nothing about water found in the trachea, in the bronchioles. Really? That's what kind of blows my mind. And a lot of the stuff that I read, I posted one thing, I wrote you, but it I don't know. It to me it should have been done, and I don't know how they came to determine that she drowned. I just don't, all the acetone and all that stuff, that can all be from decomposition because there is a lot of gas.
Mhm.
Like I said, metabolic acidosis, ketoacidosis, all that throws off gases and and levels and all that stuff. But what I I'm just I'm speechless. I read actual books. I'm old like that, but I I was very sad.
Well, there's a comment on the screen. Maybe you could answer for us. Dee said they didn't even run a full drug panel. A doctor was on a live yesterday and was shocked they didn't do a full panel on toxicology. So that's another thing. I know several people reached out to me about that. If the whole mystery has been just how wasted she was, wouldn't you run a whole panel?
And I need to look. I haven't looked at the panel. I'm sorry, but I don't know if they only. Sorry, my dog's barking. I don't know if they only uh, re- report, the abnormal levels. You know, um, like a hospital, we get everything, and even the highs and the lows and the normals. So I don't know. But yeah, there was a lot. There was so much. I have so many questions. But it's not. I don't know. I feel bad that feel like everybody failed her.
I
I
just
agree.
I just think about Stacey Jones, and I bring her up often in cases like Kylie's, and she wasn't gonna. She wanted every answer. Still doesn't have it. She's still fighting, and she's not gonna stop. She's not gonna stop. And for them to say, "Oh, okay, well, she was drunk and drove in the lake. We're cool." Um, Imagine if one of these days Lindsay has a change of heart and she's not doing things the Truckee way. And it dawns on her that her daughter was in the backpack. All of the crazy red flags that surrounded the party, no one saw her leave, and that there was no water in her lungs. What is she going to do? She can't get a second autopsy.
I know I'm being ugly, but I think that the people that know what happened, that know the truth, I hope that one day they realize what they did, and this is bad, but I hope it haunts them. I do. And I would want every single test. They wouldn't let me in there during the autopsy, but I, I, every question of mine would have been answered. And I doubt if she did ask a question. I don't know if Dad asked a question,
Mm-hmm.
but I would want some explanation. We didn't meet her, you know, but we fell in love with her. We feel for her. We want justice for her, and I think that's why everybody's so upset. It's not that we want to see Lindsay and Jagger and Sammy. We don't want to see them hanging from in the courtyard. We just want justice. We want answers to the questions that we have. You know, and I think the non answering, the pausing when asking, was there only one person? It throws up even. And don't get me wrong, Adventures with Purpose, and we cannot lose their expertise. in any way. But like somebody brought up yesterday, Doug was asked, was she clothed or unclothed? Yeah, that's a really bad question. It sends flashes, okay? But he can't answer that. Well, why not? I mean,
She had her clothes on. We heard it.
I know. So why not say, oh, she had her clothes on? Y'all don't, because then it's like, oh, I can't answer that. So then everybody's mind goes to the darkest things. I mean, you think, because it's like, that's just, I don't know, maybe it's just me, but, and I'm like, holy crap, uh, did something else happen, I, all the no comments and the pauses and the not answering questions, it's very telling that they're not having a news conference saying, hey, this is what we found, we're taking questions, and answer the public's questions. Now I know they're not going to answer every single question, but it, and somebody else said in Discord, the timing yesterday. What was there about? Well, the whole internet was focused, well, true crime community was focused on one case, and all worked up, and then this drops. It's like I don't know. It's just all stinks, and
it does all stink. And I think that they just slipped that in there. I think they had it prepared to come out. I just think that there was never any intention of any November 1st press conference. And I don't think they're going to come out publicly and address the public. Fueled by Coffee said, I was going to show what an actual drowning autopsy looks like, but panel timed me out twice. You weren't on panel. While others came up, my sister drowned in 2008. I got to go now. There's other people backstage, you narcissist. You don't just get to, just because you grab the link doesn't mean I'm kicking everybody off to put you on. So you have to wait your turn. You have to wait your turn. I could be doing comments. We could be in the middle of a video. If you're not connected, there's nothing I can do about it. I don't know what you use at your home, what kind of connection you have. I don't know what to tell you. So anyway, let's look at what we looked at it last night. Let's look at it again. I have it in the right space this time. What Doug said about the release of the video. Hang on. And if you think I'm being rude, I'm not trying to be rude. It's just because you grab the link doesn't mean I'm going to stop the show and put you up there and now you have errands to run. A lot of people want to talk about these things. Hang on. This is from the interview room. This is where Doug is addressing. Well, we'll get to it.
Extreme professional type of filming and studio and production where we're absorbing it, keeping our eyes open, our ears open more than our mouths. And we learned a lot there.
So you guys drive into this question if you feel comfortable.
Absolutely, this is possible. So we have our opinion. Our opinion, if you've watched our episode, is based on a lot that you see in the episode, as well as 90% of the stuff that we cannot talk about and have never been able to talk about nor comment, and that none of the public even knows. So, but does that mean we're right? Absolutely not. We're allowed to voice our opinion, and we're never going to back down from that because that's our voice. At the end of the day, if this is foul play, we could never be loud enough. Never. Now, law enforcement is going to come out here soon. Like you just mentioned, there's rumors they may come out tomorrow or something like that. But whenever they come out, we know we have one of three things that are going to happen, right? They're going to announce that it's an accident. That's going to create a whole storm because nobody's going to believe that. The second thing that's going to happen is they're going to say it's inconclusive, right? Inconclusive at this point, and then it's still ongoing. That's going to create another storm because of how things were handled every step of the way. There's a lot of blaming that's going to go on because of why it's inconclusive. Or three, the third one is that, hey, it is indeed very suspicious death and it's still an ongoing investigation. And that in itself is going to create another storm. But just because we feel a certain way doesn't mean that that's how it is. There's law enforcement, the FBI, CHP, Nevada County Sheriff's Department, Prosser County Sheriff's Department. They're going to come up with a theory or their assessment. They'll present it to the public. And, fortunately, that's what we have to wait on. And right now, all we have is what we've released. And, depending on certain positions that they may take, we'll have a lot more info that will come forward and possibly a whole nother episode.
Yeah,
All right, but I don't see them addressing the public and saying this is how we came to this conclusion. I just don't think it's going to happen. I could be wrong. I've been wrong before. So he leaves Doug. This is the most recent I could find him addressing the rest of their footage. And this is to Chris McDonough at the interview room. And he leaves it kind of open-ended. So take what you want of that. I don't know if they're going to release what they have or if they're just going to leave it alone. What do you guys think? Some of you guys have been following them since they were environmentalists,
I got one more thing to say. I got to pop off in a second here, Brooks. But my only question still is, I want to know what happened with the roadside assistance guy. That still lingers in my mind. What was that the truth? Was he lying? Who did he help out? Was it Friday? Was it Saturday? That to me, I want to know. And sadly, if AWP doesn't release it, we're never going to know.
Well, this is really important to know. This is why I love you guys, because you're always on the up and up. Alicia said, Jared posted yesterday that they cannot post what they have, he said, due to legal issues. Wow.
Dear. Oh, boy.
Well, if they're going to have going to get a bunch of lawsuits, I don't know. It could be something with Lindsay.
Yeah.
Legal issues. They won't. So I guess that's it. I don't know.
Yeah.
She said yesterday they will never post it. There's our friend John QQ. He was in the queue and now he's up here.
Good morning. Good morning. Good morning.
What are you thinking about everything that went on this week?
Oh, you are on the case, Miss Brooks. You are on the case.
Don't depend on me. You'd be in a world of hurt.
Oh, man. Well, you're giving them a world of hurt now because you've been able to look carefully at everything that's come out. And they have been doling this out, on a timeline. And I agree with you that out of everything that's come out, last week it was the park footage.
Mm-hmm.
And when I saw that, and I saw it with the overlays and all the different channels that have been running it, I said they're going to call it an accident. Because now they're giving us subliminally proof that Kylie's car went into the lake. And here's how it looked. There's the time. There's the date. There was a breakaway in the circle of cars leaving at that time, which gave us an indicator that this was Kylie's car and how it traveled, how fast it was traveling, how far it traveled before those lights disappeared into the lake.
Mm-hmm.
But also, too, it gave me question to find out a little bit more. So I looked at it a little bit harder, and I noticed that there was two sets of car lights over to the left, not very far from where Kylie's Jeep went into the water. I said, well, you got some folks down there. Right there, I'm sure they may have seen Kylie's car behind them in the dark, because you're going to get light reflections both from the front of, depending on how you're parked, and both in the rear. And then as soon as Kylie's car's lights disappeared, one of the cars went over in that area.
Yeah.
Paused for maybe a few seconds, give or take, and then cut to the left where the circle of cars were leaving, exiting at that time. And then the second car, down where the water was, approached that area, stopped in that area, turned around, and went right back to the area in which they were before. And I said, I find that strange. So somebody may have seen Kylie's car enter that water as a problem. So I go with you. Yeah, they're wrapping this up. I looked all this morning for news clippings and articles based on the autopsy and toxicology report. Everything that I've come across from CNN, ABC, NBC, MSNBC, all these different news outlets, including the local, everything was a short synopsis.
27 seconds. 27 seconds on KCRA out of Sacramento that heavily followed this case.
Yeah. It was a very, very short synopsis, which also is an indicator to me, since autopsy and toxicology came out yesterday, that they're wrapping this thing up now. So that people can go back to their lives.
It's done. It's done. It's over, according to them. Now we can continue to talk about whatever we want because I'm allowed to use Al Gore's internet. But they, that's it. They're not going to touch this any further. And I truly believe now AWP is not going to touch it any longer because of legal issues. That's what Jared put out yesterday. And he knows what he's talking about because he runs that whole show.
Right.
And I imagine they've been threatened. I really do. Now, I was under the impression that detectives were well aware that the 10% video was coming out. Didn't we all hear that?
That the what video was coming out?
The rest of it. It's been said many times that what the rest of their footage would really drive it home that this is beyond suspicious.
Oh, okay. Well, we will see now. This weekend could heat up in a heartbeat.
Oh yeah, well,
You know how weekends are when you get a story that closes out the week, things can pop up inadvertently over the weekend.
You never know. Are you planning something, John? Don't throw me any calls.
Well, I just received the full autopsy from Plunder, and much love goes to her for covering the autopsy report on her channel. I hope that's okay for me to say. And I had emailed her and asked her to send me a copy of it for my review because I wanted to study it. There was something within the body of it that made me scratch my head outside of the ethanol, the caffeine, the codenine, and the Delta 9 that was in her system. And I wanted to do a little research on the content amounts of each of those to determine what the overall intoxication level was, determined by the medical examiner. Yeah. So.
Well, what do you think about the no water in her lungs, none in her stomach? They say she's so wasted. We can all Google results and see that. No.
Right. And that's why I wanted to get a copy of it to find out how they determine the water not being in her lungs, because that's an indicator that she wasn't breathing at the time she went into the water. So who drove her car?
That's what I want to know. It seems we've had a lot of, I don't have any doctors in here, I don't think. If you are, let me know. You don't have to let me know in chat, but afterward. Hang on. Alicia said 88 is a normal decomp number for alcohol. That's what a lot of people have said. That it appears that she might not have been in the land of the living when she went in the water. And there was this whole argument about, her in the water. And it's like, whoa. We never disagreed she was in the water. That was never an argument. Sarah, I would
Perfect.
love for you to grab the link and come up and talk to me and my friend John here.
And thank you so much for getting back to me via email so quickly last week to let me know what you were working on. I said, as long as you're working on it, I know I can get uh, brought up to speed as to where you are, because you've been covering the case consistently.
Have you been?
That.
I haven't been around the streets, if you know what I mean. I don't really leave my house. Have you been covering it on your channel? John has a great channel, guys. Go check out John Q.
Thank you. I have did a segment. I think I did one segment on it when they had found the car. Once that was done, I said, okay, let's take a look at what's happening. And I did a live on that. And we went over the information, the reports from AWP, how they were able to find the car so fast, 38 minutes, 35 minutes. I mean, after their 2 weeks of looking, I said, uh-oh, there's something wrong here.
Yeah.
If that area was searched, thoroughly, why didn't they find her vehicle? Whether it was 15 feet of water, 55 feet away from the shore, they should have been able to find her vehicle far earlier with people in the water. With independent contractors at that. Volunteers, I believe, divers were a part of that group.
Well, see, and that's another thing. Yes, AWP, they know their stuff. They know what they do. They know their equipment. They found her very fast. And so the question remains that you have divers that are familiar with that lake. You know where the last ping was.
Right.
There's a lot of things. Yes, John has a very nice voice, very soothing voice. Drink that up, John. That's not a compliment.
Not the voice again.
That's not a compliment I ever get around here.
Not the voice again. My God. Thank you.
Slithering Sleuth, you have your camera on, hun. You can turn that off and I'll bring you up in just a minute. So I just don't think Adventures with Purpose is going to tangle with this anymore. One of the conversations that isn't just going on right now because of what came out yesterday, but leading up to, a lot of people said, what if law enforcement says, we don't want to work with you because of what went down in Truckee, California? We don't want to hurt other families because of what service they offer. I mean, last weekend they found a car in, where was it? I know they were in Pennsylvania and they actually found a person in a car. But if law enforcement says, look, this law enforcement agency said it's an accident, we can't take the chance of pulling someone out, you pulling someone out of a car and we're like, it's an accident. And you come out later and say, they don't know what they're doing. It couldn't have been an accident. Right. I'm just playing devil's advocate here.
Right. Yeah, so they have to think about, how they're going to handle it now. Whether they're going to continue to pursue it based on the additional information that they stated that they had. They were going to wait for the autopsy and toxicology report to come out. Now it's out. Now, do they move on the information that they have nonetheless, or do they continue doing their work? What's going to be more beneficial to them? You think about it. What's going to be more beneficial to them if they stay and let's just say they come out with information that somewhat goes contrary to the overall narrative? What do they have to gain?
That's exactly right. And let's face it, where people say they offer a free service, nothing in life is free. Those boats are expensive. That equipment is expensive. I mean, just the oil for Doug's beard is expensive. So yes, they have to rely on sponsors, memberships, donations. They can't risk all that going away. And I just don't know if them doubling down on that town it could hit them in the long run. I just would not want that to happen to them. Now,
Right.
I'm being selfish, though. I'm being very selfish because I would like the truthful outcome justice for Kylie. And I really believe that whatever is in their video, it's there. But I do not believe that the powers that be in Nevada County will do anything with it.
Right. And the sad part about it too, Ms. Brooks, is that you know, the autopsy report and toxicology report cannot be contested at all
Mhm.
because Kylie's been cremated. You couldn't get a second autopsy, a second opinion to determine whether the first autopsy report is accurate and correct. You see, so that leaves us with what they put out. I don't know if she was advised to do that particular thing, cremation at that time, but hence, once I knew that that particular event happened, I said, now there's no turning back. All the power now goes to the medical examiner who's performing the autopsy, medical pathologist, and toxicology. Because once that comes out, it's going to be a final stroke on this.
Right. And, it's just absolutely ridiculous to me. And I get what, people were saying. They're like, look, they have enough samples. They have this, they have that. If they wanted to do further testing, they would. Who, as a parent, and you don't have to answer this, I don't want to make you uncomfortable. I'm just saying me, myself, and I don't do cremation anyway, because fire scares the hell out of me. But there's no way I could cremate my child if there was any question at all of what happened to them. I'm not going to trust a bunch of people saying, hey, we've got plenty of samples. Don't worry. No. Margot, thank you for your support. AWP put a system on community page. They back the findings. Oh,
Right.
hell, I got to find that.
Yeah, because when it comes to that kind of, special service, it just seems like, that is, number one, the most inexpensive way to perform that service, and have a memorial service, behind it, but yet very quick. You get to the service, you want to get past grieving, the feeling of loss of your loved one, your family member, as quickly as possible, and as far as the community, that area, trucking, those folks, as they've given us as much information on them as we realize, live a different way.
They live, it's like a little utopia they have
Yeah.
going there. They have a little utopia going on. We're not gonna mess up
Right.
that little utopia we have going on. And kids at a party, whether it's an overdose, a fun fight, whatever you want to call it, covering up something, we're not going to mess with that. That would mess up our little, hell, they had human remains found a few weeks ago, and we'll just don't worry about it. We're taking care of it. We're taking care of it. That's just how they want to do it. Slithering Sleuth, you still have your camera on, hun. I'll bring you up when you get that switched off. So now we get to, oh, she jumped out altogether. Now we get to the heartbreaking. It's all heartbreaking, but it's, the freshest on the mind, I guess. Well, they all are. I shouldn't even say that. That sounds terrible. Quinton Simon, have you gotten into this, John?
I have not gotten into the story. I've been hearing a little bit about it now that I believe you did. You covered the press conference.
Yes.
Yeah. And I was able to catch a portion of it. I guess they had some kind of Wi-Fi connection interference because it kept losing the signal. And I said, okay, come on now.
Oh, no.
Because typically the press conferences that are released, for some strange reason, I don't know, maybe it's my side, but for some strange reason, the volume is always so low.
Yeah, I'm done with press conferences. I'm done with them. I'll cover them after from now on, But no, I never can find where they're streaming from. This is 2022. Everybody, these news stations, they have Twitter, they have Facebook. Hell, some of them have a damn TikTok. They have a YouTube channel, they have a website. And here I am, 30 seconds till the press conference is supposed to be. The chat erupts. The press conference is on, and I'm going, where? Where? So finally we find it, and then what do you know? Their Wi-Fi's buffering. Piss on that. I'll do it later.
Yeah. Yeah, because it just seems like with all the professional people, audio people setting up microphones and cameras all over the place, you'd figure they'd have the audio geared up
Or you
properly so that people can listen to it.
Yeah, or you can't hear what the reporters are asking. So it's not until like the 5 o'clock news when they clean all that up, because I'm sitting here like an idiot with my ear up to the computer going, what did they ask? What did they ask? Nah, it's too frustrating. Too frustrating. So yeah, in that case, really, it is heartbreak all the way around. I mean, this family put the D in dysfunction, my friend. There is no getting around it. You've already got one child in jail for murdering the mom's boyfriend. Now you've got Leilani. They've had a history of calling the cops on each other. Mom trying to evict her daughter, the boyfriend, and the 3 kids, 2 of which she had custody of. So we know that that can't even happen.
I think they did the press conference to apply pressure to her. You know, since they outright boldly came out and said that she was a primary suspect.
Oh, they did.
Yeah. So now, how does that make her feel? It's like the jig's up. When we're ready, we're coming to get you.
Well, I mean, the jig is up. You can see what she said. It's right here on the screen. This is a private message, not to me, but it's publicly. You can see it pretty much anywhere. Quinton has passed. He's in a landfill and my daughter done it. Well, this is floating around everywhere. She's saying that he's in a landfill and her daughter is responsible for that. This is the grandma. This is Billy saying.
If that's true, then we should definitely hear something within the next 48 to 72 hours.
You'd think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because you know, all of what they have, and with the FBI and the police department and the investigators jumping on this particular case as fast as they did, I'm sure they'll be able to, you know, work diligently, because time is of the essence, to put some closure to this, you know, based on circumstantial evidence, which I'm sure they have, to lead up to direct evidence to get her.
I agree. And then we have the babysitter that is involved, even though she doesn't want to be, but she is the one that they texted. Whoever texted, I don't know. I don't know if Leilani did or her boyfriend Danny did. According to Danny, he did not know anything about this text. It was erased from his phone. And this was all news to him when he heard Diana on the news that night. There's a couple of you backstage that I have lost. So you'll have to reconnect. And some of you, it said your devices were not connected. So in all of this, you have the babysitter and the grandma at odds with each other. So let's take a look at this. Slithering Sleuth, I'm bringing you up in just a second. You'll get to say hi to our friend John. Clumsy, thank you for becoming a new YouTube member. Make sure you check the members tab for our lives. What you got, Slithering Sleuth?
I have some information on the autopsy. You know, I did some research, and of course I'm a nurse, and so I just kind of wanted to share some things that you should see. And by the way, hi John, and thank you for having me up, Brooke.
Yes, and good morning to you. And
so
when
you have a drowning, you should see some bloody froth in her airway. There should be water in the lungs and the stomach. You should see cerebral edema, which is brain swelling. You should see, you know, if she's in the water, that I didn't get to read this whole report, But what I did see is they said there were no lacerations or abrasions, but if she was floating around in there for a couple weeks, you know, she would be bouncing against stuff with the water. So I was kind of scratching my head at that. The other thing that is important, if she was in fresh water, there would be diatoms. These are microscopic algae present. It's also found in the bone marrow of a drowning victim. I didn't hear anything about that. There should be sphenoidal fluid, and it should be significant, and that would be fluid in your sinuses. Your alveoli should be collapsed, and what that does, an alveoli, is it exchanges the gas and oxygen in your body, just to make it easier to understand, and they should be collapsed. There's surfactant that would be compromised, and surfactant is it's like a phospholipid, and it's kind of, when you think of oil in your car, that's what you think of. It helps reduce the work associated with breathing. That would be compromised. We should see electrolyte and metabolic changes. She should have been in metabolic acidosis. Shriveling of the skin, which I did see that, you know, I did hear that actually. Like the 1 to 2 milliliters per kilogram destroys the integrity of the pulmonary surfactant, and that's what we just talked about. And that will also lead to the collapse of the alveoli, which would collapse both of the lungs, and that's called atelectasis. As far as the weight of the organs in a drowning case, and this is what I did, I researched a drowning case, and I researched a person that was her weight and her age, and it said the right lung should be 185 to 967, and for her it should be around 445, and the left lung 185 to 967, and hers should be 395 grams. Her right kidney should be between 79 and 223 grams, and hers should have been about 129 grams. The heart and the brain usually remain the same. They don't change. What it was before she died should be what it is after she was found drowned. And the other thing that I thought was important, like in a homicidal drowning, you know, did it make sense for the victim to be in the water to begin with? And number 2, do the location and physical state of the victim make sense? Does it make sense that the victim did not survive the immersion or submersion? These are just questions they should have asked themselves or answered. And I just kind of wanted to throw that out there because there were so many questions.
Now, as far from that's some great information. My goodness, you just blew me away. Based upon the cerebral edema, which is a swelling of the brain, was there any explanation or determination that you may have come across that you can tell us about? Because I remember when I did I'm working on the Kanika Jenkins case. This was a 19-year-old that was found in a Rosemont, Illinois Crown Plaza Hotel that was found in a industrial kitchen freezer. And she also suffered some of the pathological findings that you were just discussing pertaining to the cerebral edema. There was severe brain swelling, but yet there was no explanation. It was non-specified by the medical examiner, only to find out that the medical examiner who performed the autopsy on her was doing a fellowship at the Cook County Medical Examiner's Office.
Oh, hell.
Yeah.
Wow.
So she was assisted by a supervisor during the autopsy, and we dug in a little bit further, credential-wise, to find out her certification actually performing the autopsy. She didn't have a medical examiner certification yet. She was still training under a supervised assistant medical examiner at the time. And so we found that information interesting. So when you have someone that's a trainee, let's just say, who hasn't performed well over 5 to 1,000 autopsies, because I think 250 autopsies recommend certification for medical pathology to be a
That's
medical examiner. So, it was just very interesting that you brought up the cerebral edema part, because in her autopsy, it was stated as non-specific in the pathological findings. So,
that is interesting. And she was in a freezer.
and she was in a freezer, yes.
Hmm.
Yeah, she had a bilobate lung. Her left lung was bilobate, one larger than the other, or a portion of the lung that wasn't there. The thymus gland wasn't present. She had everything was, so to speak, the body of the autopsy. This is normal. This is unremarkable. This is in good shape. The brain weighs this, the kidneys, the liver, through the whole autopsy, which was only 7 pages long, with
Wow.
the additional toxicology report, which was 3 pages long, only to determine more so that she froze in a freezer based on hypothermia. That was the cause of death, and the manner of death was an accident.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
Wow, I forgot all about that case.
Yeah, so I did a series, an
That's
8-part series on the full case, and covered the autopsy, read the report online, covered it pretty much line by line, external, internal, all of the systems, endocrine system, you name it, it was there, up until we got to the pathological area, and then found out that it was a trainee working on Kanika's autopsy.
Oh gosh. Darn.
Yeah.
Well, I'm just going to step off and listen to your expert here. And it's so nice to listen to you too, Brooke. Thanks for having me.
Hey, I'm just hanging out. Slithering, send me an email, because you know what I really want to see, and I don't know how we would go about it. I certainly don't really even know how to ask for something like that. Is how do there's tons of drownings in the Lake Tahoe region. What do other drowning autopsies look like?
That's a good question. I mean, look at that video. Oh gosh, I can't remember the name of it, but look how many drownings in that canal that were accidents or suicide.
Well,
They
I mean,
were,
Jacques spent a lot of time in the Tahoe region. He found a whole city of people. So there's got to be another autopsy hanging around handy up there. How do they normally type up a drowning?
That's a good question. We'll have to look into that.
Right, because then you would have different autopsies to compare based on victims that were found drowned.
In the same area.
Yeah, definitely.
Yep. I will kind of research that.
Okay, yeah, that'd be awesome. Send me an email, because I really want to look at a comparison between, well, we would probably need several, because if they just write them all up that the lungs are unremarkable, well, then we got a problem.
Right.
Yeah.
You cannot be unremarkable if you've been in the water from August 6th to August 21st.
Right.
Yeah, they shouldn't be unremarkable. And my daughter's a nurse, and I was telling her about this case, and I said, oh man, they just said this case was a drowning, and it was, no foul play. And I said, but there was no water in her lungs. And Megan's like, well, how can that be? And I said, I know. Just don't get it.
It just can't make any sense. It just can't. But I don't know if you caught the beginning of the show, they said that the cadaver dogs picked up Quinton's scent.
I did. Oh my gosh. I hope they find that little guy so they can put him to rest.
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
That is so sad. How can a mother do that? I just don't get it. And I'm with you. Grandma needs to be held accountable in some way. She does.
Yeah, because I believe she would know her daughter a whole lot better
Oh, she
anybody else, how she thinks, what she does, and everything. So
exactly. You know, she's been covering for her daughter for 22 years.
for a long time.
Yeah. Okay, guys. Well, have a great day, and I'll do some research.
Hey, thank you. Do you have my email?
Is it on your thing?
Yeah, it's on the About tab.
Okay. Yep. I'll look there.
Okay, awesome. Because that would be very interesting. And I'm just going to say it, John, educational.
Yes.
Yes.
This show is for education purposes only.
That's right. Okay, you guys have a great day.
Yes, and thank you so much for that information, because now it helps me to look for those specific things that you discussed, because I do have a copy of the autopsy now and the toxicology report. I got it this morning, and I haven't had the time to review it yet, but I'll be reviewing it over the next couple of days and most likely come back and do a live on it.
Okay, great. Thank you.
Thank you.
Yep. See you later.
Much love to you.
That was some amazing information there.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Wow. All right. So this is actually a good segue, because you were talking about, or Slithering Sleuth was saying, she knows her own daughter, talking about Billy. I mean, Billy, has blasted this on Facebook. My daughter done it. That's what she said. My daughter done it. Well, of course, that has everyone scratching their head going, well, why isn't she arrested? Well, Billy doesn't get to charge. Billy doesn't, even if Leilani confessed to her, it's just not that simple. I think we've seen a lot of juries go sideways to the point where we're just like, get God on the phone. What is going on planet Earth?
Right.
So, of course, we want it done, and we want it done right. So this is an older clip. This is from earlier in the week. This might have even been last Friday. So let's look at this real quick.
All right.
6 hours after he was reportedly last seen by his mother. Our Andy Cole joins us live now from Buckhalter Road in Savannah. Andy, you've been on this story all day. Tell us what's the latest.
Hey, good evening, Greg and Shannon. Investigators were out today searching for 20-month-old Quinton Simon, but still, they have not been able to find him. Earlier today, I did get a chance to check in with his grandparents, who, as you can imagine, are desperate for answers.
Do you believe Quinton is still be alive? I hope he's still alive. We don't know. We don't have any information to believe he's not.
Chatham County Police Chief Jeff Hadley is optimistic 20-month-old Quinton Simon is still alive. But as the hours tick by, hope is waning. Quinton's grandparents, Thomas and Billy Joe, say their daughter, Leilani, Quinton's mom, is just 22. And according to court records, Billy is Quinton's custodian.
She hasn't always done the right things, and sometimes she does really great, and sometimes she doesn't. And I don't know what to think right now. I don't know what to believe, because I don't think anybody ever believes that this is going to happen to them. I don't know if I can trust her or if I don't. I just know I'm hurting, and I want this baby home.
We want
He's
answers.
the baby.
We don't have answers. Quinton's grandparents tell me more than anything, they want answers. Whether it's the answers we want to hear or answers we don't want to hear, we just want to know something.
It's just a baby.
Home where they all apparently lived last month. We've also learned that Leilani had a child support order filed against her just last week for both Quinton and his 3-year-old sibling. Shannon and Greg.
Andy, tough to hear that interview you did with the grandmother, but so poignant when she talks about the fact that it's just a baby. You've been pressing the police for answers. What's the latest on the investigation?
Okay, I don't want to confuse anybody by him giving the latest, because we know the latest. The latest is, well, the dogs got a scent of Quinton in the landfill, and they obtained evidence from the house on Tuesday. 40 FBI agents are in Savannah, Georgia, that Quinton is not alive and that Leilani is the prime suspect. Panthera. What's Panthera doing? Hey, Brooks, I just released it. Granny says she won't believe it until Quinton is back in her arms, deceased or not. She is quite bipolar. Is she not? Now, this obviously is not something I've ever gone through before, but we have her on the news saying, I don't know what to think anymore. I don't know if I can trust her. Sometimes she does right. Sometimes she does wrong. Then she blasts out on Facebook, he's in the landfill and she did it.
Mm.
Her daughter did it. She did it.
Now, the grandparents were the ones that were on the news clip, right?
Yes, that's Billy and her, people say partner, boyfriend, Facebook husband. You know the drill.
Okay, and there was mention of a child support order there in the news clip. Was it an order that they requested, or was it an order that Quinton's mother requested?
Well, you know, that's the funny thing. Somebody would have had to have requested child support. I don't think the state, unless it was brought up in a comment. This was from Aldo Cat, said, does Billy Joe receive foster care payments and or Medicaid, some sort of state benefit for Quinton? Because she is getting, say, food stamps, WIC, any of that stuff for Quinton and Zane, then the state would go after Leilani to pay child support. Now, it's always a piss poor amount. We know that. She was ordered last week or the week before to pay $75 per child. Now, that doesn't mean that they're depending on Leilani to foot the bill. So we don't really know how this child support order came about. If it was the state that on their own, because their state funds being used for the children, that they took it upon themselves to do it, or if Billy got that ball rolling. I don't know.
Right. Because that plays a very important part in this case in terms of how Quinton and the other child are being taken care of, and by whom.
Mm-hmm.
Who has that responsibility?
Billy. Now, Billy tried to say this was just sort of an agreement between her and her daughter because she was feeling the online heat of people saying, you left him alone. You left him alone with Leilani when you went out of town to work. Not just out of town. She went to Illinois, long ways away from Savannah, Georgia.
Wow.
But she's trying to make it sound to the internet, because if the internet believes this, all is good. Right, John?
Right.
If we're Facebook okay, then we're okay in this world. Doesn't work that way, Billy. So she's saying this was just a civil agreement between her and Leilani. The state would have never stepped in and told Leilani to part with $150 a month if this was just a casual agreement, as if the kids were dogs being babysat for the weekend between Billy and Leilani.
Right. Because the babysitter had to be taken care of somehow.
She was actually paid. She has Venmo receipts from Danny, who's the boyfriend. Danny has a job. I don't know what the hell Leilani does. And also from Leilani. And then there was money, cash app to her from Billy. There was a discrepancy over $600 and some that was sent to Diana to take the kids, her grandkids, and Zane and Quinton to a water park. The trip to the water park never happened, so there was an accusation that she pocketed that money. It's just one thing after another. So then we have this confrontation that happened last Saturday. Angel P brought it up. She said, I think Billy is, she's mad that Quinton isn't there, but that Diana is being so transparent with the media. Have you seen this? I know a lot of people have and a lot of people haven't.
No, I have not.
Okay.
I'm not in your yard. Oh, my head. This is my baby, not yours. That's your baby. That's my baby. I touched you and I told you blame me? I don't care about the check. You think I'm gonna get you at me? Yeah, you think I would do that to me? Yeah, really? Because I'm what?
No one likes
I'm
you.
what? I'm what? No, I don't blame anybody. I should not have been out of town. You did. You shouldn't have. No, I'm not. I was trying to provide. I did. I was trying to provide. I told you. I was trying to provide. I even provided for you. You did. Yeah, I did. Yeah, I did. I didn't pay for your family. Your entire family. I didn't ask you. Your entire family. Keep recording.
Don't take my phone.
Keep recording.
Don't take my phone.
Good. You were wrong. You were wrong. I begged you to help. I begged you to help. Put that on social media. I begged you to help. And I begged you to help. I said, hey, Michelle, please get the kids. You're a liar. Take them. I'll give you 300 rings. I'm about to put it all over. I'm a liar. I'm about to put it all over. Good. Good, because you're awful to say you're going to put a memorial. My baby's not dead. You are a liar. My baby's not dead. My baby's not dead. You're a liar. You're a liar. No, you are. You are. My baby's not dead. I thought you were a woman of God. I thought you were a woman of God. You got Quinton? Do you have Quinton? I don't have Quinton. Maybe you do. Maybe you do. You got him. Okay. You got him. Well, I'm about to call the police. You're the only one that can go in my house and take him. Your kids go in my house and take him all the time. Oh, yeah. Go ahead. Go ahead.
We did not go in her house.
I want to see your on the news. Oh, it's going to be.
Wow.
So yeah, that's when she's yelling, oh, it's going to be on the news. People are like, are they not going to get her for busting in the house? Well, Diana and Billy have keys to each other's homes. The police are not stepping into this at all. But she's saying, maybe you have Quinton. Maybe you have Quinton.
Mm-hmm.
I asked you for your help. I asked you for your help. She's blaming Diana for Leilani. It occurred to me after I've watched this 500 times, she's blaming Diana for what happened because Diana was supposed to be keeping, in Billy's mind, an eye on the situation. Are you picking up on that too? Or
Oh, yes.
Many times.
Yeah. Like information was withheld from her, is being withheld from her by Diana.
She said, I begged you for help. I begged you for help. And Diana's fighting back. Diana's screaming at her too. Well, I mean, in all intents and purposes of the law, the custodial, the person who has legal custody, whether it's temporary, however, whatever label you want to put on it, that would be Billy. It was Billy's responsibility to make sure Zane and Quinton, now Sky, Leilani and Danny had custody of. They don't now, but Zane and Quinton were Billy's legal responsibility.
Mm-hmm.
She went out of town, and I guess in her mind, she left it all up to Diana. Somehow, Leilani was alone with the children, and now Quinton's scent is in a landfill.
Yeah. Think you have someone else on board on the panel.
Hello, UFC. Say hello to our friend John. We go back a long way. He's been coming up to the channel for over a year now.
What's up, John? How you doing, buddy?
When we're lucky.
Good.
When we're lucky.
Good.
Nice to see you, man. That's awesome. I just started getting on this true crime stuff. I mean, I always loved it since Nancy Grace in the early 2000s, you know, when Scott Peterson, all that. So I've always been into it, you know. It's just I never put the time in to come on here, you know, and kind of dive into cases and stuff, I'd say. But yeah, this is a weird one, man. They still haven't arrested. I'm just getting on, guys. Sorry, I'm waking up. I'm in California. Have they arrested Leilani yet?
Nope, not yet. And we still have this floating around the internet. Billy saying my daughter did it. Now, you know, Billy's not judge and jury. Billy's not the sheriff. Billy's not the ADA. Billy's not the DA. So it doesn't really matter what Billy says. It just still is very jaw dropping that the grandma is saying my daughter did it.
Yeah, and I want to hit on something on that child support thing, because I'm in the mix of one right now with the girl I'm with and her boyfriend. So the state will go after you. They won't even give her the money. They'll go after you and get all that, recuperate all that money back. So I don't know if she was going to give it to Billy Joe for child support. Did you see the papers, or was she paying the state to pay back for the money Billy Joe's already gotten?
For some reason, hang on. Let me try. Let me get you guys talk for a second. I'll be right back so that way I can get this overlay to work. Give me a second.
Okay. You guys understand what I'm saying? You guys in the chat, like her, my girl that I'm with right now, she's been getting cash aid or whatever before I got with her, and then she didn't, and then the state's going after her boyfriend or her baby daddy, to pay back the money, child support, which she's not going to get. It's going to go to the state for the money she's already collected. You guys get what I'm saying?
Right.
So I'm confused if Billy Joe's going to get the money or the state was. I think probably Billy Joe, because the kids aren't old. You know what I'm saying? When they get past an age like 14, 15, then this 15 years in, they're going to start collecting. It's just I don't understand the difference why the state would take or why they'd give it to the parent, you know?
Right. Because one thing for sure, whoever whoever they're going to be going after to repay whatever's been paid out, without receiving anything in collections and everything else like that, they will garnish your check.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. Hey, man, I can't believe they haven't arrested her yet, dude. I don't know if you met me yet, dude, but I've told my case, and I got arrested day one for accessory to murder. I was at a murder in a party, and they arrested me. I had nothing to do with it. They arrested me day one for accessory because I wouldn't talk. This girl, they damn near admitted it, and she's still walking free.
How long ago was that?
That was in 2009. There's an article on it. My two best friends got execution against the fence at a party. Dudes ran in the party. And then since I wouldn't talk because of my safety, they didn't have nobody in jail. If I start talking, I walk out of that police station, I'm gonna get killed in Oakland, California. It's not a joke in Oakland. And I had to make a decision.
I'll tell you what, things have certainly changed in the last 10 years.
Oh, easily, dude. Like I did 3 weeks and literally had to quit college and everything, and then they dropped the charges, But that was the tactic they used back then, and they don't. It seems like they just forget about that,
Well, I can't put the child support order on the screen for the StreamYard is really messing up today. I don't know what's going on. It won't let me add any more overlays or anything like that. I might just have too much stuff in there. That's probably what it is. But anyway,
if you're trying to put it into the overlay section, just remove one that you're not currently using, and then add the new overlay it'll take after that, because there is a limit that you can use on StreamYard.
Yeah.
Hey, you know what's crazy? Sugar and Spice, you're 100% right. Both my uncles were cops, and they said they're both detectives within the cities, like within 10 miles from where I got arrested. And they told the detective, don't arrest him. He's not a flight risk. And they told me, don't go in there. If you go in there, you're going to jail. I'm telling you. And I didn't listen to him. I said, I'll go talk to him. It's all good. And when I went there, they put me in handcuffs. And they were policemen, said, lawyer up. Do not walk in that station without a lawyer. And I walked in without a lawyer.
And that's also part of it too. People have an understanding all across the board that you don't deal with the police yourself. You have a lawyer. If you could possibly be roped into any sort of criminal situation.
Mm-hmm.
And that I have a feeling Leilani has probably had an attorney since the day they let her loose from that interrogation. From what I'm understanding, the attorney brought the whole family dinner last night. I don't think anybody should deal with the police on a situation, especially of this gravity.
Yes, that's right.
Without
having an attorney, that's right.
Lex, the CPS has taken all the other kids. Oh,
that was recent? Did that just happen?
Zane and Sky is like 4 months old. I was told last Friday, I thought it happened Monday, but last Friday, before we even did the show, that they took the other kids.
Okay. All right.
Now there was another family member, but you know, the foster homes are full. People are like, oh no, they're not. Well, I don't know.
Yeah. Because how long was it regarding the Summer Wells? Did CPS take to remove the boys from.
Almost a
Mhm.
month. It was like mid-July.
It was right. Okay. So that would have been a month. I've been thinking about a month from the time Summer went missing. Then they stepped in and took the boys. Okay. Yeah, because I know that across the state, CPS acts on cases, based on their workload and everything else like that. So it seems like they're moving rather quickly on this one.
Yep. Well, I mean, when dogs have a scent of the baby, the 20-month-old little Quinton in the landfill,
Yeah, I just hope they don't find him there. I mean, that's not it. That is not it.
No.
In 20 months.
Well, and from what I'm being told by some people that are in the area, this is run by Waste Management. So it's not like your regular, I shouldn't say regular, they're most like this. So it's not some like random dump place where you pay someone $20 and say, hey, I cleaned out my garage type of thing. There's records,
right.
There's cameras. So nobody's going to come in at 3 a.m. and, dispose of a body. So they have a lot to go through.
Yeah.
What Waste Management truck came from that neighborhood the morning of October 5th? And where does truck 1, if truck 1 is assigned to that neighborhood, where does truck 1 dump? I mean, it is so disgusting. I can't even wrap my mind. I can't even.
Yeah, that's a hard one to get your mind around. That's for sure. Yeah. So they're probably, law enforcement is probably digging through any kind of video surveillance footage based on movements on that date.
Mm-hmm.
That the little child went missing. Time stamps, and then move those cameras from any residential areas out to specific locations where there are traffic lights and they have cameras, and to try to track her to see what her movements were just before the child went missing.
Right.
So they're digging into that aspect along with interviewing neighbors, the neighborhood, the relation between Diane, Betty Jo, whatever statement that they had received from Leilani, her boyfriend, et cetera, et cetera. And so they're working that crime scene, from the house, and they start to do a spiral out to see how that all comes together as they start to widen that search area. Now, if they're using canine, which in this case they are, and they're picking up evidence from the canine unit, then they may be getting close to something of a positive confirmation on finding him.
Well, and I hope they do very quickly, because the thought of a little baby laying in a landfill,
yeah, that's disgusting.
Skin crawl, and then they can get an accurate autopsy, not a Truckee, California autopsy, and find out exactly what happened to little Quinton, because her lies are so circa Casey Anthony. Oh, he's with, or kind of like a Megan Boswell. Megan Boswell was always saying that Evelyn was with her dad. Then it was with my mom, right. That whole thing. The gypsies have Evelyn. It was crazy. One thing after another. Well, Leilani tried that. It didn't work for her. So now we just have Billy saying they think he's in the landfill and my daughter did it.
Yeah, so I'm sure they're going to re-interview her on that statement. If it's a legit posting, and that did come from her, and she is making a public statement, according to what you shared, during the live, she will be re-interviewed based on that statement and why she feels that is.
Mm-hmm.
But to see that
I
But to
wonder
see that
if,
exchange between her and Diane, the babysitter, that's explosive, and that becomes circumstantial evidence to the case as well.
oh, big time. And Diana needs to be really, really careful as to who she talks to. You don't see her on any YouTube panels. That's a good thing. Because she got roped into this, man. She doesn't want to be, I imagine. You know, her life is turned upside down too. She's got people taking pictures of her house. She's a key witness. When that text went to Diana at 5:39 that morning saying, "We don't need you." Now, it's significant for a million reasons, but we have to look at Leilani's behavior and Danny's. These are not considerate people. These are not the type of people that care about anyone's time or money or what they could possibly have going on throughout the day. So it wouldn't be in their character to say, "Oh, we need to let her know at 5:39 in the morning that we're not going to need her today. That way she can make other plans."
Other arrangements, right?
Yeah, they would have Diana come rolling in as they're leaving to go to the zoo. You know what I mean? "Oh, no, we don't need you today." Or her show up and no one's home. Also, it's significant because Diana said whether they have to work or not, they would still use me. Now, that's Leilani and Danny for you. I have the day off, but rather than spending time with my children, I'm going to get high and Netflix and chill, and Diana can watch the kids.
Right.
So she is a key witness. She's got people outside her house, and she's got Billy accusing her of having Quinton.
Now, didn't she do a video a couple of days before?
She has done some Facebook lives, and she stopped doing that.
Right. Okay. Someone had mentioned to me that she was doing Facebook posts, trying to get ahead of what was about to come down. You know, obviously, to this point, that she was trying to clear the air, separate herself from, the events of the little boy going missing and whatnot. I didn't get a chance to actually review that live or any of the other lives that she had did, expressing that statement. In other words, don't look at me. Kind of statement she's making. I would look elsewhere. And I said, when I get a chance, I'll go back over this, because usually if I see a case I want to look into pertaining to someone that's gone missing, or if this is a crime scene investigation that, has foul play in it, but they're calling it something else, like Kanika Jenkins, Daniel Robinson, 25-year-old geologist that went missing out of Buckeye, Arizona. He will also be missing 16 months like Summer is. Tomorrow, I think, or today. No, tomorrow. 16 months. And no one's been arrested. There's been no finding. No one's held accountable. Police are not working with the family to try to locate Daniel.
Now, where is this out of?
This is out of Buckeye, Arizona.
I love Arizona. And that's on your channel, right?
Yes. I've been covering that case to date. And we just did a recent posting 2 weeks ago, checking out the analytics of his Jeep, and looking at two different systems, computerized systems that would have tracked him in order to determine how far he rode that day from his home to his job, to the work site, and how far the car had traveled, what the 46 ignition cycles were all about, and the additional 11 miles that the car went after the airbags deployed. So we began breaking down the two computer systems. One is an infotainment system, and then the other is the black box. So we broke that down to get specifics as to the distance, and for the timeline, that is, as to the distance that he had traveled that day just before he was called in as missing.
Wow.
Yeah.
I'm going to go check that out.
Hey, Brooks, I had a quick question.
What?
Did they take Danny's car? Or did they let him leave in his car?
I believe it. Yeah, I don't know what
They should have took that for. Wouldn't you think they should have took that for evidence? And if they didn't, so the cadaver dogs didn't sniff the the garbage, the babies, you know, from the garbage can at the house, then wouldn't they take all the cars as evidence? Wouldn't that be like the first thing you do?
Well, I don't know. That makes sense now because the neighbor put a post up, I think on Instagram, says, I live in Garrard, the cross street. She did leave after calling the babysitter. She's saying that somebody left that house after calling the babysitter. So after they said, I say they, whoever sent this text, she did leave after calling the babysitter. Didn't come back until 9 when she finally called 911. That's why they towed the car.
Okay, so they did tow the car. Okay.
Yeah.
I seen her in the truck and I heard Danny left and I said, I would think that every vehicle would be pretty much evidence, you know, which ones they think they were using until they can clear those vehicles 100%, you know?
It says, yeah, that's why they towed the car. We have to pass by there whenever we leave, and there are only a few people on site. And since there is no one searching, now this was days ago. I think this was before the FBI came into town. So I wondered about that myself. So she said they towed a car. Leilani, because when Jaden was on, he's the previous babysitter. When he was on last Friday, someone asked about a vehicle and he said, I think she still drives that white truck. Well, that's what we've seen her when she does leave tool around in. So the white truck is still there. He's in Atlanta playing pool with his buddies on Twitter. Somebody must have given him a ride to Hotlanta. I don't know.
Yeah, I was wondering because I know he left and then I know there was cars involved. I'm not the little details I'm not up to on. So yeah, that's good to know that they did take that car but I mean, there's no blood in it. How much you're going to get from the car than DNA, which is already in there, you know?
Mm-hmm.
I don't know what they'd get, but I just can't believe they haven't made an arrest yet. She's already admitted to it. I don't care what's going on. You know what I'm saying?
I can't figure it out, especially
to me,
Billy saying she did it.
For my situation too, I'm like, dude, that should be automatically adjusted. You already admitted it. You know what I'm saying? It should be instant. You're letting the lady run around and get free time. Her kid doesn't have no more free time. Can't even breathe again.
That's a good question. You have a very good question by Summer Thunder. Does anyone know if Leilani's birth father had spoken up about Quinton being missing, or is he totally out of the picture?
No, his name is Michael. He has one thing on his Facebook, but I believe his wife, she is in all the different Facebook groups, and she's been posting frequently about it. Now, what's very curious though, I don't know, did you ever read the arrest affidavit of Letitia Staunch, John?
No. One
thing that they noted is that her social media pattern, how often she posted on social media. Right. It was also mentioned with Kyron Horman, not that there's ever been an arrest or a charge, but that's a different story. The afternoon of Gannon's murder, she was not posting. And then she makes a post. It's not going to surprise me if it comes out in this arrest affidavit. They talk about how often Leilani posts on Facebook, because she posts quite a bit. Absent of October 5th when her son went missing, she made no post about Quinton being missing.
Yeah, because they definitely will study posting habits, consistencies and inconsistencies.
Which is why I'm good in that department.
Yes, you are. Yes, you are. You also had a question, not changing the topic. Both sheets said, can someone explain why Kylie's cause of death is still pending investigation?
That I'd like to know too, because they have it as this was an accident. She drowned, but in the one box, you'll see it when you go through what Plunder sent you. Nevada County, it's all on there, and it says pending. How can it be pending and an accident and a drowning?
Yeah. See, and that kind of information right there will stand out, you know, in an autopsy report. You know, you'd have to do a date check as to what day the autopsy commenced, who did the autopsy, was it supervised, in any way, shape, or form, what the findings of the autopsy is, and then the summary opinion by the medical examiner who's performed the autopsy. Once you get to that, then you can tie toxicology into the same findings. So both should run parallel to each other. One more on the biochemical side of it, which would be the toxicology report, and then you'd have the physical side of it, which is the physical autopsy itself.
Which leads to another question to throw into the conversation.
Yeah.
God of Thunder said the CHP accident investigation is not complete. So why did this come out yesterday on KCRA? And of course, Plunder got her request back from the Freedom of Information Act. She has the report out. It even says in there, this is final. You're going to read that in one of the pages. It looks like just a regular letter typed up. It says this is final.
Okay, so that's out as well?
It's in whatever she has on her channel, whatever she sent you, there's a letter in there.
Oh,
Because
okay.
we talked about it on the show last night. I went back over it, the letter where it says, and this is final.
Right. Let me see exactly what she sent me here.
It's like 18 pages.
Yeah, this is a PDF file. 18 pages long. Nevada County Sheriff's Office, Shannon Moon, Sheriff/Coroner, Public Administrator. So I'm checking to see if that letter's in here. Incident report. Reporting officers Jason Mackey. Okay. And then the incident report itself. Okay. This is starting to look funny to me now. Time death pronounced at 20:33 hours on 8/21 of 2022 by Deputy Jason Mackey. Time of death pronounced. Meanwhile, her car went into the lake on the 6th. Okay. Yeah, they've got some. That's interesting. They've got some blank spots here. They have not confirmed fill-ins. Organ tissue donor unknown, contagious disease unknown, medical information unknown, cause of death pending investigation, smoker yes, alcohol use yes. Remains identified by pending forensic report. Mark scars, tattoos not observed, personal physician unknown, personal dentist unknown. Next of kin, Lindsay, Daniel, were contacted by California's Highway Patrol Truckee office at 21:45 hours on 8/21 of 2022 and notified that there was a decedent located in a vehicle registered to Kylie Rodney. Positive identification was not able to be made at that time. Based on the circumstantial evidence, the decedent was believed to be Kylie Rodney. They were advised of the pending pathologist report for confirmation of identity and a cause of death. All right, so this was written, going back to the top here, 8/21/22. Okay, so if this is stating 8/21 of 2022, cause of death pending investigation, and now with the autopsy and toxicology report just being released yesterday, then they should be able to update this entire report.
Well, how can they have cause of death pending? They can't be waiting on an accident report. The cause of death isn't going to be, oops, she had an accident. It's going to be what they say in their letter. It's an attachment, and it says she drowned. That would be the cause of death.
Right.
With no water in her lungs, unremarkable lungs. One weighed 100 grams, the other one weighed 110 grams.
Right, so I don't see, hold on, narrative, end of attachments. I'd have to go through this. And once I do, and if there's any additional information that comes out about the case and everything, and if I have time, I'll email you to let you know, and we can always come back to this and actually do a walkthrough of the findings of this case file.
Oh yeah, you know me, I beat a dead horse. By the way, tomorrow, I'm doing it tomorrow morning. It'll be about like 9 o'clock your time. Tomorrow is 16 months since Summer disappeared.
Yeah. Yes. 16 months, and still, and you got Donald Wells coming out of jail on October 31st.
I vote muscles and mascara to go pick him up.
So that's going to be a ramp up on the Summer Wells case, because everybody's going to be looking for Donald again.
They're going to be looking for Dawn. You know, I hear that Candace is back at the property.
Oh, she is?
That's what I heard. You know, I believe everything I hear on the internet, John.
Oh man. Okay, then you know things are going to be ramping up.
Ooh, she's there. His beautiful bride. She's out there, and I'm like, did she bring a brush hog with her? Because it looks like you can't even see the house. But she's going to get it all nice and spiffy for Dawn.
Yeah, definitely.
Uh-oh, eliminate the impossible said, I'm close too. I'll go pick him up. I'm going to hold you to it. Do you drive a nice car? What kind of car do you drive? Eliminate the impossible. We want this done in true fashion. I'm talking like picking up Mike Tyson when he gets to the airport in Vegas. I want this top notch.
Yeah, we want this front and center so it can go viral quick.
Mm-hmm. He's a dry drunk right now, if you know what I mean. So he's going to need something to get him to the ride home.
Oh, you can imagine. Oh man, what is he going to look like after being there since February and walking out a different man?
Who is he going to confront first? Is it going to be the YouTubers that did her dirty, or will it be Jody Sue?
Right. Because she's been doing a lot. She's been keeping the kitchen warm, so to speak.
Or will it be just good old Candace? You know, she's got a tongue lashing coming her way since she had the dating apps going on.
Yeah, it ought to be interesting.
I mean, that one guy, Sunshine 420, I kind of felt bad for him. I thought she was going to get him on the hook there for a while.
Trying to do a cougar move, huh?
Candace has got some moves, obviously. So also, we discussed this week before I close it down. Obviously, not ever going to forget little Harmony Montgomery. The body cam came out where the police went and woke Teardrop up from his slumber in the car he was living in to ask him about the whereabouts of his daughter, Harmony. We also went through the entire, or what's released, interrogation of Adam Montgomery. Have you been following any of the Harmony Montgomery case, UFC or John?
I've heard of the Harmony case, but I have not.
Is that the one in New Hampshire or up there, up north, up east? Is that the one with the guy with the hair? Yeah, I know what you're talking about. That's sad too. The guy who smoked 30 cigarettes and wouldn't talk after.
That was his only concern, John, when the detectives were interrogating him, was for him to get a cigarette and some water. I guess they turned off the smoke detectors or something. They let him sit there and smoke. And of course, he's not going to tell him where Harmony is because he knows. So this is when they were getting Teardrop out of the car. You know, he was a sleepy boy that day. He was a sleepy boy. And to any of you that drink Coors, my apologies, because he's got a Coors t-shirt on.
Adam. This police body cam video obtained by News 9 Investigates was taken on December 31st, 2021, the day Manchester police announced a missing persons investigation for Harmony Montgomery. On top of your head. This was the first interaction between Adam Montgomery and Manchester police after officers located him sleeping in a car in Manchester's Wolf Park. In the video, officers asked Montgomery about his daughter's whereabouts.
You just need to find out where she is. That's all I'm concerned about. You're not in any trouble right now that I know of. Okay. We have no warrants. Okay. So, where's your daughter so we can check on her to make sure that she's okay? But that's not what I'm just asking where she is. I have nothing to say.
The interaction lasts about 45 minutes before Montgomery is sent on his way. Police track Montgomery down again later that day, serving him with a court order to produce Harmony.
So detectives want to speak with you? He's being detained at this point?
5 days later, Montgomery is arrested on charges including second-degree assault for allegedly abusing Harmony. During an interview with detectives, Montgomery is asked several times about his daughter.
This isn't going to go anywhere. Like, this isn't going to stop. So,
No, I know it's not.
So,
So
either get on the bus now or get run over.
Well, I got nothing else to say.
And so Montgomery's lawyers argue that he repeatedly told police he did not want to speak with them, but detectives continued to question him, essentially violating his rights. Prosecutors have said that any statements Montgomery gave were done so voluntarily. A judge, by the way, has not decided if these recordings will be used in court. Reporting live in
Well, I hope they are, but it's the physical evidence that they found at the apartment on Union Street that changed it from a missing persons investigation to a murder investigation. They can play constitutional semantics all they want. They're going to wind up getting him for what he did in Harmony.
His body language is so, you can see his elbows when they're tucked into your body like that. You're very scrouched in like that. You're nervous. You can see it in him, man. He's weak. He feels weak. I mean, that's a very big sign of weakness as a man when you put your elbows inside your body. You know what I'm saying? And sit there crumpled up in a chair like that.
Yeah, he must have said something during the interview that gave them enough to begin looking at him very carefully based on his activities, especially encountering him twice on cam.
Mm-hmm.
You know, one was the first time that they encountered him sleeping in the car, and then the second time is when, you know, they had a warrant for him. So,
yeah, they were following him all over Manchester, New Hampshire. The guy couldn't even sit down and have a beer.
yeah, so whatever it is they have on him, they intend to use against him. And if he said anything outside of the presence of an attorney during the time of questioning, waiving his rights in any way, shape, or form, then they will be able to use that interview and any information that, you know, they were able to receive from him.
I just don't really think with everything that's gone on with this case, they're going to let them get away with that unless they're afraid of some appellate attorney down the road using it against them.
Yeah.
I don't know. Harmony's the most important thing here.
Yes, that's right.
And again, we're back to, you know, do we trust a jury of our peers? We got to have it done right.
Yeah, it's scary not having the body though. You know, I mean, we see it a lot. A lot of these cases without a physical body, they usually get less of a sentence. You know.
You know, and that's the damnedest thing. We're tracked everywhere we go. Everywhere we go. Pumping gas, the ATM, you know, whatever, walking in, wherever there's cameras everywhere. But you have these bodies we can't find.
Yeah, that's crazy. I mean,
Yeah.
I think that if you're the parents, I don't care if you find the body or not. I mean, I'm just saying, on prior cases, there's been a lot of cases where they don't find the physical, you know, the body, and then they end up giving them like a lesser sentence, like a, you know, I don't know, but they don't get the like first-degree murder, you know. And I think that if you're the parent and you're the last one with a kid, no matter what, and the kid goes missing, it's an automatic life sentence. You know what I'm saying? Automatic. Especially if you're the last one with them. You know, and you can't give a viable excuse why this kid is missing.
Yeah, and then law enforcement too is still learning about tracking technology as well. You know, they're not fully schooled in the full area of tracking technology. You know, if we're going to be using cell phones to find the registration of cell phone pings to track you, or traffic cameras, residential cameras, it's a lot to get through. But yeah, they've been following that kind of a tracking path in order to come to some kind of conclusion as to what direction to go in any investigation.
Do you think that's a lot of the problem that we're having now? Because technology moves way faster than we do. Every day, something new
Right.
comes out. An app that never did what other apps did before. This new phone is coming out that, I mean, it just looks at your, like when the one, you don't need a passcode anymore. I mean, it'll look at your earring and it'll open up. You know what I'm saying? It's like
Yeah.
something new every day. Is it that law enforcement just can't keep up with it?
Yeah, because a lot of it is coming out so fast. And like I said, to be schooled in different technology devices of tracking, you get the canine, that's a part of tracking and tracing. You get phones now, tracking and tracing. You get video surveillance cameras, tracking and tracing. You get information from interviews conducted to find out if it's part that they can track and trace. Who knows who sits with who, what time was that? And so they have a lot of information to try to get through in order to have some kind of a direction to pinpoint what they're looking for, who they're looking for, or where they're looking for.
Mm-mm-mm. Well,
So
it's getting scarier and scarier. I don't mean, 50 years ago, it was just pen and paper and walking around and talking to people. And somehow they got it done then. Now, I know a lot of people went to jail that didn't need to be in jail.
right.
We got
Yeah.
the Innocence Project, and I mean, they're releasing one after another. So it kind of makes you wonder, well, who really done it? So I don't know. These cases get more and more. There's no new sins on the planet. It just kind of seems that people have a new way of using them.
Yeah. Yeah. And the training that law enforcement gets has to be paramount. You have to wear many different types of hats, in various different cases that have that they're layered, they're complex cases and things of that nature. And then you have to have agencies to work together where no one is above the other. You get the big chief and then the Indians, and and when you're trying to combine federal agencies, local agencies, state officials, things of that nature, they're on different time schedules. So you never know when you're going to get that phone call or that radio call. So all that's got to be collaborated better. So all of this is new to them, and this interagency working together is pretty much a big part now that we've seen more so than in the past over the last 15, 20 years.
It's way, way, way too much, and things are just getting worse and worse and worse and more heinous. I don't know what's going to happen, but
I mean, look at Casey Anthony. I mean, that's another case.
that was, I mean, the
And
jury.
they found the body. They found the body on that one.
But by the time they found it, they couldn't find out what happened to
Yep,
her.
they can't identify how she passed away. And that was my
Right.
point about not finding this body. I'm not saying he's not going to get in no trouble, but it's very hard to convict somebody of first-degree murder without a cause of death.
Yeah, but they can get them on something else. I don't like to really. I know that there's some DAs. We had Jennifer Coffindaffer on here one night or one morning, and she said there are some DAs that refuse to prosecute a no body case. That could be what's going on in Hawkins County. I don't know.
Yeah, and that's what's happening in Bakersfield, California with the West case.
I was wondering what was going to happen with that.
Yeah, when you have a second-degree murder charges against the adoptive parents in this particular case, and they are no bodies, they have not found Classic and Sincere, aka Orrin and Orson West, in this particular case, then the DA has got to rely on both circumstantial and direct evidence, and their best evidence is going to come from anything direct. A witness, someone that was a part of it, that flipped, and now you've got more of a ground situation for them to press charges. But that's going to be very interesting. They're supposed to be doing a readiness hearing this coming Monday, in reference to going to trial on October 24th of this month. So this is coming right around the corner quick.
Wow, like next week.
Yes, this is in
Wow.
motion. Yeah,
We definitely
because,
have to stay up to date on that.
because the last time they convened in court was in June. I think either June or July, mid July, and the defense attorneys for Trezell and Jacqueline West had asked for a continuance because there was an overabundance of evidence that the attorneys couldn't get through. It was just so much. So they went from there and then pushed the trial up to this month, which is right now, right around the corner from us. So a readiness hearing on Monday. And then if everything is a go, we got a trial date for the 24th of October.
Wow. Will you come back and let us know what's going on?
Oh, yes. I'll be on that. That case I followed ever since I think a year and 2 months since I picked up on it. So I'll be following that case very tightly.
That whole case freaks me out. And when you have a nobody case and they've gone ahead and they've taken the jump to prosecute, they've got charges, they got the whole 9 yards. Then we have the issue with everyone yelling, and I'm one of them. Well, then what about Kyron Horman? What about Summer? What about Harmony? What about Oakley? But then it comes down to the 12 people in the box, and you have to convince every one of them this is what happened. You have to almost you have to make it almost like a Disney movie for them. Because
Right.
you get one person that says, I'm not going to be able to sleep at night if I made the wrong decision. I mean, that's a good attitude to have, but we know that there are people, Casey Anthony comes up almost in every show, that are walking around, but I blame that prosecutor hands down for that. He was overzealous. He was trying to jump up in politics, and he ruined it all.
I agree. He went way hard. He went way too hard.
Yeah.
7 charges. He could have went easy. Second-degree murder charge. That's it, and then been done.
Mm-hmm.
I agree with that one.
He knew that when he said he wanted the death penalty, that is next to impossible to do without a body and a cause of death.
Mhm.
That with the hatred all across the country, he just thought there was no way people would acquit her. And he will never take responsibility for it. Kaylee Anthony will never have justice. And while her mother's a private investigator now in Florida, and she's got a great photography business going. So that's what happens.
Wow. But I just want to say much love to your chat for this morning and afternoon's special live with Miss Brooks. I tell you, you're tearing it up. I love your show. I love your program. There's sometimes I can catch you, and then there's sometimes I'm busy at work, handling things on my side here in New York. But whenever I get a chance, I always try to catch up to your work to see what you're working on. And this one case that you're working on here is definitely a case that really belongs to you in a sense, because you've been following it so carefully, objectively, and you're very mindful as to the different opinions and thoughts that people have regarding the case at hand. So I appreciate you a lot.
Well, I appreciate you, John, and don't be a stranger. I appreciate the compliment. I don't deserve it. Don't hang me with that, but
well, you've been hung, and I did it, so you can say no. It's John Q's fault. You heard him say it, so I had him on my live. So don't be pointing fingers at me.
Okay. Don't be a stranger. It's a big treat when you come up for us all.
Yes. Well, thank you. Thank you for having me. And UFC, nice meeting you. And also Miss Sleuth, who came up before. Great pleasure meeting her and getting the information that she had to share with us on your live today. But I've got to run. Much love to your chat. Much love to you. And as I always say, be well and stay blessed with Godspeed until next time.
Thank you, my friend.
Thank you, John. I appreciate you, man. Nice meeting you, brother, man.
All right. Nice meeting you too. And I'll keep in touch. If anything breaks, I'll keep in touch with you via email regarding the West case and any other developments concerning Kylie Rodney and any of the other casework that I'm working on.
That is awesome. Yeah, you guys, tell him your YouTube channel.
It's under my name, John Q.
John Q. You can't miss it. Great
John
show.
Q. Just look for the guy with the pool cue. I'm the first one that'll come up in the search engine on YouTube over Denzel Washington from the movie John Q.
What the hell you got up there?
Yeah, I found that amazing. I said, oh, okay. They put me up over Denzel. All right. Now I'm in good company.
Well, now you're damn sure doing something right. Now, if I told my friend Gina that, she would have something to say about that. Denzel is her man.
Oh, okay. Yeah, Denzel is been around for a long time.
Well, and you're going to be around a long time too.
Yes, definitely.
That is quite an achievement. Hey, thanks for coming up, my friend. Don't be a stranger, okay?
I certainly won't.
It's been too long.
Yes, I know, but I had to bless you today because I had some time, and I said, in our last email exchange, you had asked me before to come and join you and everything, and I was only able to hear a portion of your live at that time because I was out and about.
Well, you're not now. You got to come hang with us. So everybody do a round of applause and send John on for his day.
Yes, and once again, much love to everyone that's joined you here on this Friday afternoon. Have a great weekend, and we'll talk at you. We'll definitely
All
talk.
right. Thank you, John.
All right. Take care.
Always a big treat to have John up. Always a big treat to have our friend UFC up. We had a great conversation with Sleuth, who was blowing my mind with information. I've got to go back through all that. Rowena, dropping facts like crazy. True Crime with Shannon came up. It's always great to talk to her. I don't do a lot of week in review shows because they get so confusing what case we're talking about. But we've all been hanging around each other for so long. We already know what we talk about on the channel. So we're pretty much already up to date. And everyone's mindful as to say what case they're talking about. So if you guys like doing it this way once a week, doing a catch up from all the cases, we'll continue doing it. This week it had to be done because, like I said, I felt like I had been hit by a dump truck. Every single day there was something freaking jaw-dropping. And the week's not over yet, UFC.
It's not. We're on Friday, baby. I want to thank everybody for having me too, and make sure we hit that like and subscribe to Brooks. Brooks, that promo will be up in a little bit, probably within an hour. Okay, I'm gonna finish it up right now, and I'll send you a link to it.
Okay.
Hope everybody has a blessed Friday and a blessed weekend. And remember, hey, stay sober. God is good. Love you guys.
Good. God is good. Thanks, UFC. All right, guys. So did you like that, having like a week in review, or do you like discussing one case at a time? Doesn't matter to me either way. This is like the third one that I've done like this anyway. So I'll figure out what's going with my overlay with the StreamYard. Tomorrow I am doing a show for Summer Wells, 16 Months Missing. Everybody get up, or listen in bed, however you do it on Saturday. If I do miss you on the show tomorrow, I'll be in Discord here and there, catching up in the Facebook groups. If you get a second, go check out a video. It's not a live, but it's just a short video. It's a news clip I put on the channel about the 4 men that basically have vanished from my home state of Oklahoma. I'm trying to find more out about that. Things are done a little different in Oklahoma, but I'm going to put it live together next week about that. Hopefully they find them safe and I don't have to do it. That'd be the best. That would be the best. But I'm going to let everybody get on with their Friday and on with their weekend. Knock on wood, nothing else happens and we don't have to jump in and do a live. Well, actually, I do want something to happen. I would like for them to find Quinton, along with all the other cases we talk about. Right now, it seems like they're very close to finding Quinton. They said the dogs picked up on the scent. I have not heard that's what's going on, that they have an active search going on, but we'll figure it out. Anyway, you guys have a remarkable weekend. I hope all your teams win. Get some naps in, read some books, whatever, anything that's not true crime, you know. But come over and say hi to me in Discord and we will chat. So you guys have a great Friday, a great weekend. And thank you, as always, for being the absolute best there is on YouTube. Have a good one. Bye-bye.